What's up, guys? So this is going to be a little different video. Hopefully there's a lot of you watching this that do not know who I am, and I'm not saying that because I'm trying to hide. I'm saying that because this needs to get out. This has got to get out, and get out now. Rick Santiago is trying to single-handedly ruin the trucking industry. And you're gonna ask me, how is that? How can one man ruin the trucking industry? Well, it's pretty simple. One man that obviously is not business oriented can get a bunch of like-minded, non-business oriented, quote-unquote business owners or truck drivers to think and act the way he is thinking and acting. So some of you may not know, some of you may not know. So he has organized this protest in Washington because truck drivers are being taken advantage of, price gouging. Well, this is simple business economics. Like, it's really that simple. It's supply and demand. But it's even simpler than that. If you do not take the loads, then the rates have to go up. They will not and cannot leave a load on the board for weeks or days if we don't haul the freight. You know, and this has been an ongoing issue. Like, so this has been going on a while. Like, it's been a race to the bottom. And finally, it's at the bottom. Well, the problem is not the brokers. The problem is not the shippers. The problem is uneducated business owners that do not know their numbers. They do not understand profit versus revenue. You cannot run a load for less than cost and expect to make money. I mean, I'm sure we can all agree on that, right? Well, it's the same as you can't run a load 5 or 10% above cost and expect life to get better for the truckers. Because they can always cut it. And the problem is, people have been doing this so long, they have no money. They have no revenue stacked up, or no money stacked up. I mean, like, they can't hold out. A lot of truckers right now are holding out because they understand the rates are too low. You can't make money on it. So you just park the truck. And it's really common sense. If the country is shut down, nobody's making or doing anything, how in the world do you expect loads to be moved? There's nothing being made. The meat packing plants are closing. Farmers are having to get rid of their animals. Produce is just sitting in the field. So how do you think that they're going to pay you $2.50, $3 a mile to move what freight's there? Because they know truck drivers will take whatever. And guess what? You guys are proving them correct. And I'm running. I'm driving. My rates have not changed. But then again, I'm not 100% dependent on the load board. Yes, I use the load board to fill in, but I don't run it 100%. So what Rick should be doing is getting the truckers together and making up a game plan. Don't go to the government and ask them to babysit. We don't need a babysitter. If I wanted someone to run my company, I would go work for somebody else. And if you guys are truckers, you know what this is, okay? This is called an electronic logging device. Do you know where that came from? That came from the government with regulations. And now, you guys are asking for more regulations. Oh, well, this time it's on the brokers. Well, do you really think it's going to stop at the brokers? No, here's what's going to happen. You're going to regulate the brokers, right? And let's say they can make 10% across the board. They can make 10%, which is fine, okay? 10%. Well, now, that $600 load, they can do it for $500. Now they will be competing with each other because they're losing $10 per load. But yet they can gain a whole lot more loads from that shipper. And now what are you going to do? You're still at a crappy profit margin. Yo, there's no reason for government regulations. And now Rick's telling all these truckers that depend on this. They depend on the truck to, when calling on a load, tell them you want to see all the transcripts. You want to see what they bid it at. Okay, that's fine. That is okay. Except for the fact that will get you blacklisted. Because there's not enough truckers doing it. And you can go on with what he's saying, but you fight this battle with him in this way, you will be out of business before the solution is there. Alright, Dave, so what is the solution? Solution is stand your ground. Know what your rates are, know what you need to make, and stick to that. Don't haul it. Just don't take it. I seen there was an ad in one of these articles. It wasn't an ad, it was an article. And this business owner of 5 trucks, she said, we are taking loads at a loss just to keep our drivers busy. Okay? So, when you go out of business, are you going to tell your drivers, hey, you no longer have a job because I took these loads at a loss? I would hope not. Government is never the solution. You know, the government tried to fix this rigoroni crisis we have going on right now. The president did what he had to do, okay? And the governors said, oh, we want control. It's not for him to have control, it's for us to have control. Well, now look at what you've got. Now you've got states, government that will not let people buy seeds, will not let people go fishing, will not let people have their rights and have their freedom. You have judges locking people up for opening their business. And these are the people you want in charge of our industry. There's enough regulation on us. What you should be really going at is the broker or the dispatchers. That's for another subject. Illegal brokers calling themselves dispatchers. know, and I'm an automotive transporter. I transport vehicles. The business, the car hauling business is not good right now. And neither is any other business. But I'm operating. I'm operating for a profit, and it can be done. It can be done. But if you want everything handed to you, then you should not be a business owner. The government has never had your best interest in mind. So you're going to start with this, and it's going to go into more and more and more and more and more. Oh, well, now that we're regulating this, now we can push for the speed limiters. Now we can give them less hours of service. Yo, you want an equal playing field? Go be a company driver, where you get paid no matter what. The government is not the solution for this issue. You don't walk into Walmart and tell Walmart you can only make this much money. You don't walk into Walmart and say, this is how much you can make. This is what I'm gonna pay. No. And Walmart essentially is the same as a broker. They are a middleman. So guys, I'm calling all truck drivers. Don't feed into the nonsense. We don't need government regulation. We need truckers to stand together against the industry, not against the government. Let the government do their thing, not our thing. When I started my business, it was for me to make as much money as I wanted to. As much money as I could figure out how to make. It's called a free market. We each make our own prices. We each make our own decision. Your decision to take that load is simply your decision and your fault. No one is forcing you to take that load. There's also guys in the industry that agree to haul a load, and then when they find out what the broker charged, now they want to call them a trashy broker. Sounds like they're better at their job than you are. And I am by no means an advocate of brokers. I don't like their customer service. I don't like how they treat us at times. But they are not the problem for the cheap rates. Desperate truck drivers not knowing their numbers are the problems for the rates. So I could go on about this all day, but I'm not going to. Owner-operators, business owners, don't feed into it. You will regret the government regulation. Some of you like these, most of us don't. And that came from government regulation. That came from this same idea, but from someone else. And nobody fought them until it was time for them to be enforced. Nobody cared about the rates. You know, you've got guys up in Washington talking about my trucks are being repoed next week. Well, that's not from the rigoroni. That's because you've been taking cheap freight for months and can't pay your bills. This is not new. This is ongoing, but because the country has shut down, you can't dig out of the hole that you created. It's that simple. If you guys need help, need advice, message me, hotshotwedge@gmail.com. I'm not giving money. I can give you advice. I can help you with ideas. I have a Hotshot channel. of 12,000 plus subscribers, and 60% of my viewers aren't even subscribed. So if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, you learn how to be a truck driver, be successful, negotiate, hold your own. These cheap rates have been around for a long time, but I don't see them when searching for loads. If you want to mandate something, mandate that the brokers put a price on the load board for the people that don't know their value. They don't need to show us what they make. Tell them to put the price on the load board. That's what you need to do. But then again, should not be a government regulations. So, guys, he is ruining the industry. This industry will be so much more regulated. You will not be able to turn a profit, I promise you, if you feed into this government regulation nonsense. Just think about it. Think about it. Make your own decision. And while you're making a decision, like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell known as the dang dang. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.